All right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Canadian music in the 80s, 90s, and more. It is my pleasure to once again be joined by Kevin Kane of the Grapes of Wrath and the Northern Pikes. Specifically, I want to chat because you're going on tour of the acoustic duo with the Grapes of Wrath pretty soon.
That's right. Me and Tom.
So is it's just you two playing guitars and stuff like acoustic guitars?
Yeah.
So like, would you be doing like a different set list kind of thing? Like, is there certain songs you might bring out and do acoustically that you haven't done before?
Yeah. Definitely. I'd say at least a third of the songs, if not half, are songs that we don't play as a band.
Oh, so that'll be quite interesting. Um,
Yeah.
are you looking forward to doing that kind of thing?
Yeah, I love it. We end up kind of falling into doing this back in February because we had one show, one full band show, and it didn't really make sense for Chris to stick around in Canada. He usually, like, he's in Greece right now. He usually
Okay.
spends winters in much warmer places. And so we decided to do it as a duo. And then as soon as I told our agent, I said, well, maybe you can get us a warm-up show. And he actually started getting more offers than we were able to deal with at that time. So we're going back to Ontario in October to do some more shows. We've also done a run in BC, and we're going back there in November. I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that there just aren't as many live venues as there used to be for bands. But when it's two guys with acoustic guitars, you can be a lot more adaptable. And I think it might have something to do with the age of our audience. Um, you know, they like to hear a quieter evening of music and
Right.
stories and all of that stuff.
And it's obviously easier logistically to travel with just guitars and easier to set up and that kind of thing too.
Yeah, well, when we do the full band shows, we need to have backline provided. So that means, a drum kit and a bass amp and a bass guitar.
Right.
And I don't use amplifiers anymore, but we did, you know, for the our first 10 years that we were doing the reform band, we had to have guitar amps provided as well. So, that's a lot of stuff. And now Tom and I just show up with our guitars and plug it in and away we go.
And you're coming back to Charlottetown, which I'm very excited about, to the trail side, which I've seen you full band there before.
Yeah.
Um, but it seems like a room that would really be well for acoustic as well as some of the other venues you're playing on the tour, like more suited, do you think, for acoustic?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the other venues necessarily. I mean, I know the place in Miramichi that we're doing, and I played there with Brian before, and I guess a full band could play in there, but I don't know if it would sound stupid bugs. I don't know if it would sound as good because it's tougher. It's tougher when you
Yeah,
go drums and bass. And I know that when we went out west, one of the places we played could accommodate a full band and often does, but I think uh, most of the other places wouldn't be suitable for a full band, like, churches and things like that.
right.
Acoustically, they're great for a couple of guitars and a couple of vocalists.
I'm looking forward to seeing this actually. Is there any albums you're going to focus on more, or is it just going to be a wide variety of everything you've ever done?
Well, we were planning to focus on an album that Tom and I did in 2000 called Field Trip because
Hmm.
we're the label that wanted to reissue it, and the album was sort of being for the last 25 years. A company out of Quebec had purchased the rights to it, and they were just sitting on it. And then as soon as this label said, "Yeah, we'd like to license it," they put it out. So the album is out now under very dubious legal circumstances. But you know, sorry,
Okay.
seeing dogs up too. But It's unfortunate because we had actually looked forward to putting the album up properly and
Right.
touring it and having it released on vinyl, but now it's just kind of out there so people can hear it. We're doing a few songs off that record. Now and Again is being reissued
Oh,
sometime this year by a California label on vinyl. So, but again, we're not going out and touring it per se, but we are doing songs from that album that we didn't perform live ever before, like Blind. Um,
oh, okay.
I've done, but I guess we'll never know live a couple of times. Yeah, it's just a different vibe. It does give us kind of the chance to do songs we don't ordinarily do. We've been doing the most, which the full band almost never does.
Oh, that's great. I can't wait to hear some of those songs because Now and Again was probably it's in my top five of favorite albums of all time, and there's so many good deep tracks on there. Do you got any surprises? Like, would you pull out any covers or anything like that?
Well, we did sometimes. I mean, it depends. It depends on the night. Sometimes we'll do something in the encore, but not. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away.
No. Well, you got to try, right? I got to take a shot at trying to get something out of you that you're not
Yeah.
supposed to tell me. So, but yeah, I guess get to the show and find out, right? Um,
And we'll see, maybe because there's other songs we're talking about doing. So we'll see. It kind of comes down to when we'll have the time to work on some stuff.
I mean, you've done a few covers with the band over the years. You've done "Let Me Roll It" and "See Emily Play."
Well,
Those
those
have
are the
always
ones that got released. I mean, we've done tons of different cover tunes. A lot of stuff was never properly recorded.
right. And are you still going to be doing a lot of shows this summer with the Pikes too?
Yeah, I've got shows with the Pikes. And I should have brought my notebook out. But the Pikes shows start on Canada Day in Hamilton, Ontario, and
Wow.
we actually have a maritime show we're playing. I think it's
I,
in August, mid-August in Dartmouth at a classic rock festival, and
yeah.
got a few shows in BC, one in Alberta in August. Yeah, a few things going on.
So you're going to have a really busy summer.
Summer's not super busy. June is crazy busy because I've got a Kane and Pot Van show in Toronto, then home for a few days, and then I've got a run of 4 shows with Grapes Wrath full band out west, Kelowna, Edmonton, a festival actually in Beaumont with 50 over 40 in the odds. Then we're doing 2 nights in Calgary, and then Tom and I fly back to Nova Scotia, and then the next day we start our tour out here, and we've got 7 shows in a row.
That's a lot of traveling. Um,
Yeah, and October things get September, October, first half of November things get pretty busy again.
Hopefully you don't run into any bad weather.
Yeah, well,
You know
yeah,
how much
uh,
you know how much fun
that's-
that can be when you're traveling across Canada in some questionable weather.
I know it's the risk we take in living here, I guess.
But you must love it because you're still doing it after all these years.
Well, yeah, I do like the playing. I'm not a big fan of the traveling, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm really getting paid for the traveling. You know,
The
I get paid for playing too, but the traveling is the
real work.
it really is. It really is.
Yeah, especially I know the older I get, the less I like traveling, but
Yeah.
sometimes you have to do it. So, but
Well, we had a festival gig last summer, Grapes, and I traveled for over 24 hours for a 60-minute performance, so
well,
yeah, definitely I'm a professional traveler.
it seems like that's almost like a prerequisite if you're going to become a musician full time, doesn't it?
I think my dog wants in just a second. Hang
That's
on,
okay.
there you go. Okay.
That's okay.
Yep.
Um, Anyway, yeah, I look forward to seeing you but here in the Maritimes anyway, because it's I guess you won't go 33 years without playing Charlottetown again, so that's good to
Well,
hear.
no. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Every time we go out and play some shows, I'm well aware that it may be the last time we go to these places. I mean, we're not kids anymore, but
No.
B, not like the old days where we were, putting on a record, and then we would spend a year touring it, then we'd spend another year making another record, then another year touring it. It just isn't that ecosystem anymore.
Yeah, because you're not really selling CDs or records anymore like you used to. It's just the
No.
performance is all about it. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's kind of, it's a nostalgia thing. Like I just saw BTO here in Halifax, and uh, I used to be neighbors with Randy like 30 years ago.
right.
Yeah, years ago, and so we got to know each other then. And so I was talking to him after the show, and he said, "Well, this isn't going to happen again," and he's well aware of that. It's like you
Yeah.
get to a certain time where um, if you get your chance to see the show, you better take it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the last time when I was living in Ontario, we won tickets to see the Rolling Stones. So I went because I go, when am I going to get another chance? They're not young either, so
Yeah.
so it's just the way it is. You never know when you're not going to see them again. Like I always meant to go see Tom Petty, and
Hmm.
I thought I was gonna have another chance, and I did not. So it's kind of it's a little disheartening, but it's part of life, I suppose, too.
Yep.
Um, but you're originally from Kelowna, right? You guys, the band is originally from Kelowna.
Yep.
One
Yep.
off music question. How do you feel about Kelowna hosting the Memorial Cup next year? The big hockey tournament, junior hockey
Oh,
tournament. If you're
I'm oblivious to sports. I don't pay attention to any sports. So good for them, I guess. I mean, Kelowna's already an insanely expensive place. Like, just to get a not very nice hotel room is, summer, it's hundreds of dollars. It's crazy. And they don't have, I think Airbnb is illegal out in BC in most places. It's pretty
really,
ridiculous.
that's
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy. It's yeah, I wouldn't think that. Well, I mean, PEI doesn't have Uber, so
Right.
I
Well,
guess
a lot
that
of,
works.
yeah.
I guess that works out. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to join me again, Kevin. I appreciate it. Good luck with your dates are coming up, and I look forward to seeing you in Charlottetown again.
Yep. See y'all in Charlottetown, and thanks for taking the time, Alan. Talk to you
No,
soon.
take care.
You too. Bye bye.